Marvel movies are sort of fixated on complicated relationships with fathers, aren't they? Tony Stark has a distant relationship with his father, Thor and Black Panther respect their fathers, but then learn that they're not perfect and must atone for their sins. Peter Parker is motivated by his need to impress Tony, who serves as his only father figure in this franchise. Ant-Man's story is about struggling to be a dad while trying to impress his surrogate father figure, Hank Pym. Peter Quill learns that the man he thought was his father is really a monster, and the man he thought was a monster is really his daddy.
He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
God, that one line makes that movie like 10 times better. And of course, Gamora and Nebula hate their tyrannical, domineering father, the villain of this movie, Thanos. If there's anything like an overarching theme to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it'd be you need to grow the hell up. The protagonists start out as selfish man-babies and need to learn how to become responsible and self-sacrificing adults. That transformation is often pushed forward by father figures, both good and bad, especially recently with the last 4 movies being primarily about fathers and their children. After overcoming their own issues with their fathers, the most terrifying villain these characters could face is a father who wants to make them a child again, a father who thinks he knows what's best for them. Because Thanos wants to be a father figure not just to his already adopted children, but to literally everyone he encounters. His minions are called Children of Thanos. He refers to Scarlet Witch, someone he's never met before, as my child. Unlike most of the egomaniacal men who appear in these movies, Thanos is not just a wannabe dictator. He's not motivated by a selfish desire for power, but in his own mind, a selfless one. He wants to take responsibility for other people, not just control them. And taking responsibility is what it means to be a parent. He is Uncle Ben's famous maxim taken to its ultimate extreme.
With great power comes great responsibility.
That's just how he sees himself though, and it's all a fiction because really he's as egotistical as they come. He wants to subjugate you and have you love him in return. Be grateful that a benevolent dictator is the one subjugating you. At the same time, Thanos doesn't just want to be a father, he wants to be the All-Father. He wants to be a god. That's what Loki explicitly tells him he will not become at the beginning of this movie, and it's what he does become at the end of the movie when he collects all of the Infinity Stones. But what's interesting is that godhood is framed as fatherhood in this film. His servant, Ebony Maw, says to the dying Asgardians that even in death, you are children of Thanos. Father, God, King, Thanos is the negative embodiment and combination of all of these figures. In him, they are one and the same, and it all hinges on how Thanos views love. Early in the film, there is a seemingly throwaway line from Wong that is actually the most important line in the film. He says, attachment to the material is detachment from the spiritual. Throughout the movie, our heroes as well as Thanos are tested along these lines. Thanos must sacrifice the only person he loves, the only person keeping him attached to the material world, in order to gain what is fittingly called the Soul Stone on his spiritual journey toward godhood. Throughout the film, the Avengers face similar trolley problem type dilemmas, needing to sacrifice someone they love in order to save half the universe. None of them are up to the task, hesitating for too long to make the decision. They fail time and time again because their version of love is selfish. It is passionate and irrational, and in terms of this film, it is childish. It is irresponsible. Attachment to the material world, even the people they love, leads them toward oblivion at every turn. But Thanos claims that he is dispassionate, that his level of concern is totally outside himself. Before sacrificing Gamora, she tells him that this is not love. Is she right about that? Thanos has tortured and abused Gamora her entire life, all the while thinking he was doing so out of love, out of a hope to make her stronger. So is love just a feeling you can have despite the horrible way you've treated someone? Apparently it is. That's what the universe thinks since it grants Thanos the Soul Stone. And that might be the most uncomfortable idea in the film. All of this is in contrast to Tony, the only person Thanos treats as an equal. He doesn't call him my child or belittle him or try to teach him a lesson. He says Tony has his respect. It's no coincidence that Tony starts this film saying that he'd like to be a father, and spends most of it keeping his surrogate son, Spider-Man, safe. On the other side of the coin is Doctor Strange, who is willing to sacrifice people to keep the Time Stone away from Thanos, which Tony thinks is morally backwards at the time. The battle at the end of this movie then is between two dueling notions of fatherhood, one that is emotional and one that is dispassionate. One who is protective of his children, wrapping them up in a suit of armor and trying to keep them out of harm's way, and another who forces them into dangerous situations in order to make them stronger. Feelings be damned. With the story only half told, I'm excited to see how these ideas are paid off in the next film. How through the conflict with Thanos, these characters overcome their lingering issues with their parents and become responsible father figures themselves. Avengers Infinity War might be the most expensive, biggest, loudest, most star-studded, action-packed film Hollywood has ever made. But I'm glad to say that it's also got something on its mind. Hey guys, so this video is sponsored by Dollar Shave Club, and if you go to dollarshaveclub.com/justright or click on the link in the description, you can get your first month of the Daily Essentials starter set for just $5 and start shaping that perfect Tony Stark goatee. I've been using it myself, and the shave butter it comes with is remarkable. It leaves your skin feeling literally as smooth as butter, and it was a big improvement over my old routine, so I'm really happy with it. I also like that they give you this really heavyweight aluminum handle for the razor that lets you get a really firm grip on it and actually helps you get a closer shave. But if you're thinking, actually Sage, I'm just gonna let my beard grow out like Captain America, so I don't need a razor, then you should know that Dollar Shave Club isn't just about razors. You can get all sorts of stuff for your morning routine like toothpaste and body wash from them, basically everything you need to get ready in the morning. So if you want to try out that starter set that includes all of this good stuff for just $5, go to dollarshaveclub.com/justright. That's dollarshaveclub.com/JUSTWRITE. Thanks for watching, guys. If you find these videos valuable, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. Just $1 a video helps ensure that I can keep doing this. Thanks again to all my current patrons, and keep writing, everyone. He sort of dresses like a dad, too. His shirt is tucked in the front, but it's got like butt flaps in the back. What is that?